Devyn Michaels. Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone enjoyed the weekend. We are going to resume the testimony of the detective. Ben, I just have you said that we sworn against since the weekend has passed.
You solemnly swear or affirm testimony that this action shall be true, the whole truth, and the best truth, so help you God. You just state your name.
Carrie, K-A-R-I, last name Skinner, S-K-I-N-N.
State whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Friday, we were short on time, so we rushed through a bit of things, and I want to review a couple of things with you, okay? So you had previously indicated that you arrived at the scene with Dennis Ozawa, is that correct? When you arrived on scene, did you interview anyone at Paladura?
We did.
Who did you interview at Paladura?
That's going to be Deviere, which is Johnathan's mom.
In addition, did you speak with the children there, or was that over at the Porcupine Rim scene?
Porcupine Rim.
Okay, so let's move forward to the Porcupine Rim scene. When you arrive at that scene, what do you observe?
When Detective Ozal and I arrived on scene, we observed Devyn Michaels going between the house and her vehicle, which is the Nissan Armada. And then I believe there was one child kind of playing around in the yard.
Okay. Did you notice anything at the Porcupine Rim scene as you arrived other than Devyn Michaels?
I did. As we walked up the driveway of the residence, kind of off to the side, which would be near the opening of the garage door, there was a black cell phone.
Okay. And when you say off to the side, do you mean actually on the driveway?
It was on the driveway.
And which side of the Nissan Armada was it?
It would be to the left.
Okay. So the driver's side.
Correct.
When you observed the cell phone on the driveway, on the driver's side of the Armada, do you immediately go grab it, or what are you thinking at that time?
No, at that point we made note of it. That's something that we're going to want to include in our search warrant. So at that time we're leaving that so that we can collect it in a way that we can have it forensically analyzed later.
Okay. And I would presume at that point when you see it from a distance, you don't realize there's blood on it.
Correct.
But you're noting it, you're not telling the defendant about it, you're just, okay, that's noted, and you move on.
Yes.
And you indicated previously that you had an opportunity to speak with the girls, the young girls, is that right?
Yes.
And they indicated to you that the Deviere had been home with them last night.
That's correct.
We went through the first interview in the beginning of your testimony, you recall that?
Yes.
And also, I called it the first interview. This is actually the second interview conducted by detectives, but the first that you were involved.
Yes.
I didn't get a chance to ask you, but how were you approaching this second interview when you first go in? What's your mindset?
Sure. So whenever we're contacting someone for the first time, we try to use a free format. We will ask them questions and allow them to give us a narrative in their own words. They're explaining the situation, the story, all of the things that they want to organically just tell us. And then we may ask a couple follow-up clarifying questions and sometimes repeat back to them what they told us so that we can feel comfortable that we understand what they're trying to tell us.
And you are aware that there was an interview conducted with the defendant prior to your involvement?
Yes.
And this second interview, your first,
Yes.
was that investigative type, open-ended, like, hey, give us any information you deem relevant kind of thing?
Correct.
Okay. And just to briefly summarize, there was some discussion about, in that second interview, your first, the day before, shopping for school supplies, the defendant acknowledged she had been with the victim, and then she said he was alive and well in the garage when she left. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, during the course of this first interview you're involved in, we heard a little girl's voice approach. Is that correct?
It is.
Describe that, what happened, and what that meant to you.
So while we were interviewing Miss Michaels, we are engaged in our conversation. To be honest with you, I'm not sure which of the daughters, their names I still get mixed up. She had approached the window and she has the cell phone that we believe is the one we previously saw on the driveway. And she says, "Mommy, here's Daddy's cell phone. That's why he didn't answer." There was a physical reaction from this, from Devyn, and she takes the phone, she hands it to us, and she made a comment, "This should help you." and then that's pretty much changed the tone a little bit to casual conversations to then it became a little bit more flustered.
Okay. And is it at that point where you noticed the blood on the phone?
Correct.
And I would imagine that's important for an investigator.
Very much so.
You, I believe, previously indicated that after that first interview, a search warrant is authored and conducted on the home and the vehicles outside the home at Porcupine Rim. Is that correct?
Yes.
During the course of that, we know the wallet with the current ID is found. It's tied in several bags in the defendant's underwear drawer, and it's kind of tucked away. Is that right?
Yes.
And then within that same bag is the truck keys.
Yes.
The Social Security card was found, but that was in her purse, not hidden away with the other stuff.
Right.
Okay. We were about halfway through that second interview when we had to break on Friday. And so just describe for us how you're approaching this second interview differently, knowing what you know about the blood on the phone and the items found in the home.
Sure. So as I mentioned, the first interview is going to be more of a format that allows the subject to give us their narrative, their truth, what they want to tell us. The second interview, we've now discovered some evidence inside the home. There's some things that we need to confront her with. So the tempo of the interview, the tone changes. It becomes a little bit more direct. Okay, you said that this happened, but now we have this. For instance, the wallet. We didn't know about the wallet. That wasn't brought up in the first interview. So now we are going to be targeting her, asking direct questions, and it can be accusatory in nature.
Okay. And so we left off at 36:55, but just because we were really cutting it close, I want to start back at about 30 minutes of that interview and then resume. I may pause it a couple of times and ask you some questions, okay? May I, Judge?
Yes.
What do they look like?
Remind us what you think this is.
6:20, Your Honor.
Okay.
I don't know, like I have all of his old driver's license, that he had all of his old stuff.
Okay. And then a whole wallet with the driver's license? How many do you think you have?
I think I have 2 of his licenses.
And then are they both in wallets or
Yeah, we have an old one of Deviere's as well.
in separate wallets?
No, just in separate places.
Okay. Where was those other ones? Like the ones for Johnathan? Where did you keep those at?
The one drawer in Deviere's in a different drawer.
Which drawer?
One's in like my drawer with like some doorknobs and stuff, and the other one's in a nightstand or on the other side.
Oh, okay. And you think you have a couple of his driver's license?
I know I do, and I have them on my phone too.
Oh, did he? And why does he give you those, or why do you have them?
I know how it sounds, but he literally said, hold on to this because it's important. He literally said that.
About what?
Like the social and everything. And I have the EBT card, and you could see it at the gas station. He handed me the EBT card and said, this is the code. And then he gave me the other one.
What was that?
I said, this doesn't look good.
Why did he say that?
Because he's telling me to do things, and you're asking me about it, and
Well, I mean, you're explaining it, that's why.
you can see at the gas station, he hands me the card and says, hold on to this in case you need something. Like,
And that's the EBT card?
yes, sir. And it's at the gas station. You can see him hand it to me.
The ARCO.
No, and not the ARCO. There's another gas station on the Pecos one where we stopped, and I think, yeah, because he gave me the card and then he went outside to smoke a cigarette. But it's on the security camera. You can see him hand it to me.
Do you remember which gas station?
I don't know the name of it. It's by the Burger King.
Burger King. You know, like
It's off the Pecos and Windmill. It's like right there. You can.
Pecos Windmill, Burger King.
There was a gas station right there. He was talking about the man that works there. He parks Right.
Like on the corner?
Mm-hmm. He was telling me about the man that works there, and he sleeps in his car and everything like that.
What time do you think that was at?
That was after we unloaded everything. We went right there, and I got a Monster drink, and I don't remember what he got.
So right after you left,
When we got back to his side of town.
so coming back is when you went to that gas station?
Yeah.
So like between, so after, it'd be after 9 o'clock. And that's when he gave you his ET card?
Yes. You can see him hand it to me, and he walks out the door.
So that's right, that's near his place. You said Pecos and Windmill? The Burger King?
Yes, sir. Like, he,
So, Detective, we're now talking about kind of the Social Security card, the wallet. There's an EBT card that's referenced. Is that correct?
Yes.
Before we move on, I want to ask you about an exchange that was a bit earlier in the interview, but would be duplicative for me to play again. Earlier on in the interview, you had confronted the defendant about the bloody phone, correct?
Yes.
And what was her general response with regard to that?
As far as the acknowledgement of the phone,
Yes.
she was surprised about the phone being at the residence.
Okay.
And it really threw her off when her daughter handed her the phone, and it changed the tone of
Yeah.
our interview.
And she claimed she was surprised. You're not saying she actually
Yes.
was?
No,
Okay.
she appeared to be very surprised.
Okay. And you had asked, and I'm simplifying, you had asked something to the effect of, well, how does blood end up on the phone? Does he hurt himself or something like that? You remember
Correct.
that? Describe that exchange.
So once we have the phone in our possession, we do note, and also her child noted that there was apparent blood on the phone. That's of great concern, and of course we're going to address that at the time. Began asking Devyn some questions related to that. She mentioned that he had injured his hand, and I believe she specifically said he took a chunk, and he being Johnathan, out of his hand. Then went into great detail, which stood out to me because the entire interview there hadn't been any detail on anything. It was very generalities. There wasn't a lot of, it was like, I don't remember. But in this case, she went into extreme great detail about the table, how it folded, where it was in the garage, how he had hurt himself.
And to be fair to the defendant, I believe she said, John told me that he hurt himself. I didn't see it, but she knew it, or claimed she knew what he hurt himself on, and that it was a very large injury.
Correct. And in addition to that, she did not see any blood or injuries on John's hands.
And Detective, you've reviewed the autopsy photos in this case.
Yes, I have.
Were there any bleeding injuries to the victim's body other than his decapitation?
No.
We're going to resume the interview now.
he kept,
It's well, because there's in 2 gas stations. There's a Chevron right there on the corner.
I think it's like a Charlotte Horse.
Okay, so the Silver's there, and then across Caddy Corner from that gas station is another gas station. I think it's a Shell or something.
I'm not sure the other one, but
But it was next to the Burger King.
Yes.
Okay.
yeah, please check the security. You can see him, and you can see him telling me the code and everything. I don't know why he was giving me things, but he was telling me to hold on to him and keep him safe. And that's what I was doing.
That's the social security card, what about his driver's license?
I've always had a driver's license. He's
The
always,
problem I have with that is that the driver's license found in the house is a current, it's not. a
but he
current.
just gave it to me.
I know, but he would need that for work. That's
He
why
has
I asked
another
you,
one.
you said that he gave you an old one, you had it in the drawer.
Well, no, he's given me old ones before. I have multiple ones. So you can look around the house. There's more than one.
Okay, and if this one's expired in 2025, that's gonna be his newest one. It's weird that you have his latest driver's license, and that it was tucked in a drawer.
Yeah, I put it away to keep it safe. It should be wrapped in like a whole bunch of bags, right?
Okay, did you understand that?
I understand, but I also have the Social Security. I understand, and that's why I'm like, it's just getting weirder and weirder. It's like I'm doing things that help, and it's not helping me. I got it.
What? Yeah, is that just being able to explain some of the stuff, that's all we need is
I'm
explanation.
trying to explain it, but the more I'm talking, the more it just sounds really stupid. And
Especially driver's license, that doesn't need to really be kept safe. But also security card or birth certificate, I completely understand. Especially if somebody is in transition in their life and they're wanting to find a new place to live, you want your report to be.
but I don't know what else was in it. It was just a lot of things.
Okay. But it wasn't his wallet, he didn't hand his wallet over to you.
No, it was like a lot of things. Like it was like a square thing he handed to me, and then a black what are those called?
But not his wallet. You know what his wallet looks like, you saw him pull it out for
Yeah.
reasons. So he had his,
So, Detective, you're now confronting the defendant with regard to the wallet and all that was found in the plastic bags.
Correct.
Those were sealed when they were found, correct?
They were.
So, let's step back a moment to the phone, because they kind of tie together. She is not telling you that the phone is part of this chunk of items that John allegedly gave her in this bag, correct?
Correct.
Okay. With regard to the victim's phone, did you ultimately learn that was in fact his blood and DNA, the victim's, on that phone?
Yes, I did.
Did you ultimately learn from other sources, not the defendant, but other sources, when John's phone was last at his home and when it left?
Yes. So one of my partners had authored a search warrant for Google. We had also done some call data records as well, but the Google itself came in quite a bit later. So this is something that we found out after the crime, obviously, and after all the interviews had been settled. But we noted that the return showed that John's phone was at the home on Paladura, which is where he resides, from 10 o'clock till it began to travel or move at about 2:04 a.m.
And what else traveled or moved at 2:04 a.m.?
So I'm not sure exactly what's been testified to yet, but at 2:04 is when it's alleged that Devyn left the home. She traveled. We have her cell phone or CDR records, as well as the Burla, which, again, I'm not sure if that's testified to. That is the infotainment system that we authored a search warrant on. It shows those three devices together in a companion movement all the way back to Porcupine Rim.
So 3 devices, meaning the Nissan itself, the defendant's cell phone, and the victim's cell phone as well.
That's correct.
Based upon the fact that there is blood on the cell phone and all of that you just testified, what did you deduce about our timeline of homicide?
Well, after having the information from the autopsy, which is there was no bloodletting injuries short of his obvious cause of death, which was the decapitation, there was no reason there should have been blood on that cell phone because any bloodletting would have been after the homicide. So for the phone to arrive and be discovered at Porcupine Rim with blood on it indicated to me that that is something that was on the phone before it left that house.
At 2:04 a.m.
Correct.
And therefore, did you narrow down the bloodletting to between 10 p.m. on the 6th and 2:04 a.m. on the 7th?
Yes, sir.
We're going to resume the interview.
so when we find his wallet, he's gonna have his driver's license and his cards. I just don't know why son gave a driver's license to someone. But not, he didn't give you.
I told you, when John and I were together, I had everything. He had me hold on to it so he wouldn't spend money needlessly and things like that. Like, he's like, hold on to this. And
Yeah, but you guys don't have a relationship right now.
we actually were.
So you're closer than we thought.
Yes. I went.
Are you?
He asked me to marry him yesterday.
Okay.
Does that make
It makes to know your relationship you had mentioned was getting reconnected, but that's more romantic.
Right, and you can ask the girls that he told the girls we were going to get back married and they were going to be the flower girls and stuff like that. He was trying to get back together. And I was helping him break all of these little bad habits that he was doing.
So then he gives you the EBT card for one of the girls. Where's the other one for her?
I have 2 EBT cards.
Do you have both girls' EBT cards now?
No, they're not the girls' EBTs. He said one was Andrea's, and the code,
Oh, so you're using Android.
he gave me hers. I haven't used it. He gave me hers at the gas station. And then he has the other one that he got.
Okay. Where's that EBT card now?
They're both in my purse.
Okay. You know you can't have that, right?
Yes, but I know he gave them to me.
That doesn't make it right. I can
No, but I can't use them, but
card.
I understand, but you can see he handed it to me.
Okay. You're not understanding that you can't do that. So
No, I know I can't use them. I don't believe he can use it because it's Andreas and not his.
Right. Is Andrea mad that you have the EBT card and is using it? Because she's got it now, that's her money.
No, he said that she gave it to him because she can't use it in the state that she's in.
So he was just using it to fill his void for money.
That's what he said. He said, but at any moment she can cancel it.
Yeah, but she wasn't. So he wants to marry you. He's telling the girls to be flower girls, yet you're still wearing a ring, and so is Dev.
This ring I bought on my own from Macy's. It had nothing. No, this wasn't a symbol
You just
for
told
her.
me that it was a symbol.
I said-
You have a best friend connection with Dev.
We do have a
You wear the
connection.
wedding ring too, and that's something that is a respectful thing, part of your marriage.
Yeah.
But now you're telling me that you and your ex were talking about getting married.
No.
And you just took a ring off last night from another female and threw it away. But yet
You're taking what I'm saying, but you're-
not. It's fact, it's what you said.
No, I understand that's what I said, but that's not exactly the situation. You're taking it and,
Okay, so
so let me,
here's what you told us so far. Your ex needs a place to stay.
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
he's trying to get out of his mother's house.
yes, no.
You were kind enough to allow him to move into the house with you, your current husband, which is your best friend, and your two girls, which the girls just moved back in May.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you guys are trying to make it a family. You were saying that he was supposed to like slowly move in, that things were progressing slowly. Now you're telling me that he's wanting to marry you. He mentioned that yesterday. He even talked to the kids about it, and that your relationship has now progressed past just slowly kind of
No, ma'am, you're misunderstanding. He has mentioned getting married in front of the girls. Our relationship is not rekindling on a physical level or romantic level, but we are trying to reconnect and have a family for the girls. Yes, he has said we should get married, and he's saying it more, for my opinion, on a joking thing, but he has said that in front of the girls. That was not said yesterday. Okay?
When was that said in front of the girls?
I would say over a month ago.
Okay, and what did you say in return in front of the girls?
I didn't say anything, I just looked at him and rolled my eyes.
So are the girls, when I talk to them, going to say that they don't think you guys are getting married?
Oh yeah, they'll tell you that.
That you guys are not getting back together?
No. Because at one point I was telling him I didn't think it would be a good idea for him to be here, and it would be too hectic. So they will definitely tell you I was not trying to marry him.
Did you say anything to Deb about it?
Oh yeah, I told him that John keeps trying to say he wants to, get back together. I
You're
told him.
talking to him now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then him moving in now was just a platonic, friendly relationship?
It's not a, yes, yes.
There was no reason sleep in the house.
I was gonna clear out the sewing room that's up there.
Okay.
He said he wanted the loft because it was the cooler place, but I was gonna give him the sewing room because there is more than enough room.
And then Deb sleeps on the sofa?
Sometimes, or he does sleep on the bed, like I said, when we watch movies and he knocks out within minutes.
And then have you guys ever had a sexual relationship?
Yeah, we had.
Okay. But
And
it's not there now?
no, I can't even have sex now.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of different ways to have sex.
I understand, but no.
Okay, so you guys have no connection that way at all?
No.
Okay. That would complicate it a lot. Having your ex with him, that's not that you're still in a relationship.
I understand.
Okay.
to take hormones just to.
I understand. But like I said, there's a lot of different ways to have sex. It doesn't have to be penetration. There's a lot of things that a couple can do. And obviously you did that in the beginning, but just not now. So much changed.
Pain.
Well, not to be crass with you, but I think I need to be direct with you.
Pain.
You can give a male a hand job. And that gives you a connection with that person in a sexual way.
I don't say hand jobs.
A relationship. Do you know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
There's a lot of different things that you can do for a male that you're connected with in that marriage.
If you ever see the thing that we're not
Like that. I'm just trying to answer and get all the questions answered in the relationship.
That's why you can't answer questions.
I mean, I'm cool with we got married for this, the rings. That to me is a lot. That's probably the most odd thing about it for me. Is that
It's just I like my ring.
But he's wearing a ring, so he's wearing a wedding ring.
He wears a lot of rings though.
He's wearing a wedding ring.
But he does wear more than one for himself. So, and he's bought them for himself.
Sure. I got mine.
No, I mean, but I didn't buy them for them to be symbolic. He's bought his own rings to wear.
And where did you guys get married? You guys got married?
What was that? The flamingo thing?
So you guys had a ceremony with them before Henderson?
Yeah, it was free. I got a coupon thing, and that was cheaper.
And you just did it out at a chapel and the flamingo.
Yeah, and there was the one witness, and that was it.
Gosh, that does.
So you said that you guys have not, like, you and Deviere have been in for a while. How long are we talking? Like,
Years since he's been back.
what do you mean since he's back?
He moved out of the state.
And Deviere says he's been living here for like the last 4 years.
Yeah, but he got moved out of the state. He lived in California, and then he moved back, lived with John, and then he came back this way.
Okay, so since he's been back, you guys have not?
No, sir. I stopped being physical probably in 2020 when I was having all my issues because I had surgery after surgery.
Okay, but he was already living here then?
He wasn't living with me.
Because he was telling me that he's lived here for like the last 4 years.
Yeah, but he wasn't living with me the whole time. He was living with John at Valadora.
When I say living here, I mean like he actually said like he's lived here at this house. How long have you lived at this house?
I've been here for 3 years.
And then when did he come back to Nevada? I guess that was what we're saying.
I would say I've been here for 3 years, so at least 2 years ago.
And then prior to living here for 3 years, where were you staying before that?
Decatur and Horse.
And then how long were you at that place?
Less than 1 year.
And then prior to that place,
It was at Wild Magic.
where's that at?
89129.
Like what area though? Like major cross streets?
Craig's and Tanea. Right by where, close to where JC lives.
And then did your kids live with you at that time?
Yeah, they've always lived with me. They've only not lived with me for the short period of time of 9 months.
And going back to about the ID and stuff, you said it was, yeah, you had one that is in a bunch of bags in your drawer. When did he give you that?
Yesterday. With the IDs and the social security card.
And was that at the house that he gave that? Don't see it.
Yes, sir.
So he handed you a bag yesterday. Do you remember what was in it?
No, he just handed it to me and I put it in the bags. Because I just wanted them out the way.
Okay.
So I'm not sure exactly what's in it. I didn't go through it.
So explain that part to me as far as like when he did that and what did you do? So like where are you guys at when he handed you like that sack of stuff?
In his room area, and he had me the little square thing. He says, hold on to this, and he had me the other thing because this is my social. He says, just keep it safe. And that's all I was gonna do. So I wrapped it up, and I was gonna put the social in the security box, and I just didn't have a chance to do it.
What else? Did he give you anything else?
He gave me his guns.
Anything else? Like there's a set of keys in that bag too.
The keys are from Andrea's stuff.
The set of keys that are in that bag. Like the bag
No,
that.
the keys are my keys.
Where do those go to?
My car.
So you have
Detective, we're going to pause real briefly. Throughout the course of the investigation, did you learn that no spare set of Chevy keys for John's truck were ever discovered?
Yes.
In fact, after the defendant was arrested for the homicide, was there some communication with Yoko about returning the keys?
Yes.
And why was that?
There were no set of keys for John's truck found in the home or anywhere else after searching all the residences other than the keys that were in the bag.
And so you had to return those keys to her so she could do whatever she was going to do financially with the truck.
Correct.
bag that you put, plastic bag that you wrapped his ID in that he gave you, had a set of your keys in there?
I'm still lost.
I just wondering, like, when he handed you a bunch of stuff, he only gave you the wallet with the ID in it? Did he hand you anything else?
The social security card.
Okay, because in that bag that it was wrapped in, that you said you wrapped it in, there was also a set of vehicle keys in there.
I don't remember giving the keys.
Because I guess that's my question. Like, why would he give you his wallets, social security card, which like Detective Skinner's asking, and then also a set of keys.
I don't remember the keys. I just know the wallet and the social security card.
And then you put that in a plastic bag while you were at that house?
I just grabbed everything and tied it and tied it and tied it and tied it.
So the only thing he handed you, like, so I'm giving you this stuff. What exactly does he hand you?
I remember seeing a wallet, and I went like this. He dropped it in, and I just started tightening it away.
So it was just a wallet though?
That's all I remember seeing. I do not remember seeing keys, but he dropped it in the bag. Like I just took it and tied it away.
And was this in the garage?
No, sir, it was in his room.
Inside the room in the house?
Yes, sir.
And was that before you guys went into the garage?
That was before we left. And then he also said, make sure the guns are safe. And we didn't take the ammo. So I carried on.
Detective, was this timeline that the defendant gave you notable?
It was.
And why is that?
Specifically, the keys being in the bag and the wallet. When they leave the Paladura residence, she'll indicate that they were in his truck and then drove back to his house, or back to her house on Porcupine Rim. However, the keys have been tied up in that bag because she indicates in her statement, I tied them, and that's exactly how we found them in the drawer.
And so we know based on not only the defendant's statements, but witnesses and technological evidence that it wasn't the Nissan Berla that they made the last trip to Porcupine Rim in and then returned to Paladura. It was the victim's truck.
That's correct.
And so she's saying the keys or whatever he put into the plastic bag that she tied up over and over and over were given before that last trip to Porcupine Rim.
Yes.
One of the guns that he carried out like a bow and like a crossbow looking thing and another gun.
Okay, so that was before you left there, between 9 and 10?
No, that was like at 8 and 9.
8 and 9.
And we came this way.
And then what did you do with all the stuff?
When I got here, I put it in the drawer like this. The to keep it out of the way.
And then you guys drive back.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did he have keys to his truck?
Yes, sir, we drove his truck.
Do you remember where he put his keys to the truck? So we didn't find his keys to the truck at his house.
They were on the table.
Which table?
The table that had like all this looking stuff and like the grinder and everything like that. All of that was sitting right there.
And his keys to the truck?
Yeah. The only keys I picked up were the ones that had the little thing on it that said Andrea, because Yoko said bring them to her and put them in the little thing. That's the only thing I picked up.
Okay. So you don't know what keys are actually in that bag that you wrapped everything in?
No, sir. Like I said, he said keep this safe. He took the plastic bag and he dropped it in and I started tying it up. And then he handed me the other thing, and I was just going to put that into a safe.
Okay. So, like what we were saying is, a lot of the stuff now is like how you're saying you're talking it out loud and it just doesn't sound well.
I understand that, but you didn't know John. You didn't understand his mannerisms.
I know, but when we talked to you earlier, like these are the things when we were saying, like, hey, be descriptive as possible. Like, what were you guys doing? Like, you say you're packing, doing this, but like specifics, like stuff that's important. All that would have been really important for us to know.
I do apologize, but that's not things that were like kind of going through my head at the time. To remember is like, when you say this, it's like, okay, I remember this now. And you say something else, then I can recall more information. I'm trying to remember as much as I possibly can for you.
Okay, because like how you said how it doesn't look well, I agree with you now because you have his social security card, you have his wallet and his ID. There's possibly a set of keys that looks like might be his truck keys in that bag.
Okay.
So.
But I'm sure he's got I got more than one key for my car.
Not keychains on it. Spare keys would have keychains on it.
Like it's not just like a key with a key fob. It's like, it looks like his personal set of keys.
Like I said, he put it in the bag. I just tied it up. That's all I did. And I think there's like 3 bags around it, 3 or 4 bags. I'm not even sure.
And if you have a safe, why would you not just put them in a safe?
I haven't had a chance to.
The plastic bags.
But the keys?
Oh, for all the stuff that you
Oh, it was just what we had right at the time. I hadn't been here to put it in the safe. The safe is here, but I just hadn't
That was placed in a drawer. It takes 2 seconds to put something in a safe.
hadn't done it, and I wasn't trying to have Deviere see it. That's all it was.
Why do you say that?
Because it would look odd that I'm holding on to John's things for John. But it's not the same. It's like if you're doing more for one person, I don't want him to feel like there's more there than what it was. John was only coming in as a temporary thing until he can get something else, because like I said, he was trying to file for bankruptcy. Yoko was about to kick him out. Yoko even said she was trying to kick him out.
Okay. So you, how many tell us about the bankruptcy before? He was
I
well
did.
with them.
I did mention bankruptcy before.
I don't remember that.
Did I tell you, or the? Yeah, I mentioned it.
About is,
I most definitely did.
we're standing inside the house when you guys were out here.
Because
He told his mom he was going to file for bankruptcy.
yeah, the gambling. How long does he have an issue with gambling?
What is it called?
Where does he usually play?
Well, when we lived together, he would go to the Santa Fe.
That's like his favorite spot to go.
That's when we lived together. I don't know what his spot would be now.
You don't know where he would go living with Yoko?
Probably Valley, the Green Valley is the closest one.
What's their base rent?
He said he was.
How much was he gonna pay?
He claimed he was going to try to do 1,100. He claimed he was going to be able to do that.
And is that text message or conversations you guys had on the phone?
Probably both. You might be able to find a text message on it. It was definitely where he understood it was not going to be him freeloading or anything like that. He had to pay to stay here.
And when we go through the phone, we're gonna have our computer guys, they can go through apps, they can go through anything deleted, all that stuff. Are they gonna find anything that we're gonna turn back and talk to you about that your current husband doesn't know about, relationship-wise, conversations,
With John?
intimate conversations, pictures?
No.
Okay,
No, yeah.
so it's just platonic conversations.
For the girls.
So they want to run back.
They wanted him because they love their dad.
Knows best. We know it was wrong.
And I was told when I went, John has physical custody of the girls. They're supposed to live with him.
So is that why?
So as long as I keep him close to me,
Okay, well then just tell me that's the motivation.
that is definitely. If I keep him close and make him happy and everything like that, I got to see my girls.
I can understand that.
So it's just so my girls love him. They want to spend time with their dad. I need to be around my girls.
Hopefully he pays the rent. Does Dad pay for the rent too, or the mortgage?
He pays like $1,100 every month too.
Okay. And then are you working?
Yes, no, I do real estate.
Okay. Clearly you've been sick though.
Yes, ma'am. And for almost a full year, I wasn't making any money. So I went through my savings. I had to take my stocks out just recently to get things caught up. Yeah, I've been struggling trying to get all of this back on track.
This was gonna help a lot.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's the motivation too, is keep the girls close, and then if you keep him close and happy, he'll be able to have contact with the girls, and he's gonna pay the other half of the mortgage.
I figured as long as I didn't rock the boat too much, he wasn't going to get out of control because I know what triggers him, and I wasn't going to do that. I know even when he's yelling and everything, as long as I'm not trying to engage with it, he does calm down fairly quickly. And you can see it on the text messages.
Okay, so like going back to what Detective Skinner was saying, why are you, I know that you want to see your kids, but ultimately you have custody of the kids.
He has
Well, he has physical custody, but they've been staying with you. They're not staying with
because
him.
he's letting them stay with me.
Exactly. But why would you want to bring him here?
Because if you look at the text messages, when he gets mad, it's bring me the girls back. I want the girls back.
So he's threatening you about that stuff. He's threatening you about the kids. Okay, so
Again, if I keep them happy and keep everything cool, the girls can stay with me. And they were supposed to be with me for the summer, but you'll see, oh, I miss the girls. I haven't seen the girls, so it's okay. I would drive to Henderson multiple times just so he could see the girls, and then we would drive back.
do you have any other phones?
No, sir. We have a house phone, a landline.
Yeah. Your purse said it was inside the house.
That phone is not connected.
What phone is that?
There's like extra phones, like my old phones. None of them are connected. The girls just use them to play video games.
That one was in your purse? Were you saying one and then that one's in your purse?
Yeah, there's one in my purse. Tamia was playing music on one of them earlier today. They're just old phones.
So Devyn, right now, I hear you saying things just aren't adding up. Okay, I'm not saying that you actually did something to Johnathan, but I know, or I feel like right now you're not telling us everything. I feel like you know something, and that, like, either how it happened or who somebody involved with this. I feel like you're not giving us that information. So, just, we've done this for a while, okay? We've been detectives for a while, okay? And just given everything that you told us and just kind of how everything happened, it's kind of sporadic, all right? I really don't want to beat around the bush at this point now, because before I was giving you the benefit of the doubt with everything, okay? But like I said, things just aren't adding up.
So, I have decided that if I just be nice to him, I can get my girls. Because the court, when we went for custody, he didn't even show up. And the judge had us wait an extra hour to see if he was going to show up, just to give him the benefit of the doubt. And they still granted him physical custody. They denied his motion for sole custody, but they still granted him the physical custody of the girls. I have tried to do everything through the system. So right now, all I'm trying to do is make sure I just be nice and get my girls, because that, at the end of the day, was my goal. Just how my girls
Can
go.
I ask you a question about your custody? Just my prior experience is in special victim unit, so I'm very familiar with family courts, very familiar with CPS cases and how powerful they are, one way or another. It's very, very unusual for a father to get primary physical custody. So,
She told me that day, and you can talk to the victim, that my girls were going to be home that day. I told her I'll do the custody class, not custody classes, the counseling, which I'm still doing, and you can talk to her. I did the parenting classes.
so they took the kids away.
Yes, ma'am. But they said that you have to do this, you have to do, and I did everything.
Usually it's temporary.
And they didn't. They still granted him, yes, now you can look it all up. Even my therapist, everybody that has been involved in this case say it didn't make any sense. I had,
Where are all your firearms in the house?
there's one in the drawer and there's one upstairs.
Where's the one upstairs? Let's start with
It's in the safe, in the bathroom, over in the girls.
What kind of that?
A safe,
Okay, and then is that a 9mm or 40? Do you know what
a
caliber?
9
Okay, and then the one downstairs, where's that?
in the drawer, and it's a 9.
Okay. And then are those your firearms?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And have you fired those recently?
No, ma'am.
Not since
No, we go to the gun range just for,
or not?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's good. I know that.
Yes, ma'am. It is, and my,
That's our judge.
the lady, I don't know what happened. It's like, I don't know now. I don't know how all this works. Like, you can't all of a sudden get slammed with all this stuff. So I know it looks weird, but I am just playing nice to keep my girls. So I'm just trying to not create waves. So John says, I need you to do something, I do it. As simple as that. I'm not trying to look stupid in front of you guys, but
Does he hold that over your head?
yes,
Like, does he threaten you
yes,
with the kids?
yeah.
Like, what kind of stuff does he say?
Is if I'm not, hey, I need you to do this, if I'm not, it's never been like a sexual thing. I mean, he's hinted at it, but it's always, if you're not, anything, I need this help, I need this help. I used to give him gas money every time I went down there. I used to have to buy his beers and his cigarettes because the EBT doesn't cover it. And the girls would even tell you, I was always buying him something. You can look at the gas station records. Every time we went in, he would, hey, I need this, this, and this, and I would be the one paying for it. I just don't want to offer
Is
those.
that how we got you to agree for him to come here?
Yes. And it's just to keep my girls close.
What did he tell you?
That it's not what he told me, it's just, I know.
What did he say? Like when he said,
We should be a family. We should be a family because the girls would want us together.
did he threaten you saying, let him move in?
threat. It was more of a, well, if you don't want to do this, then I'll stay with Andrea. We'll have our, because he told me straight, he already moved on with his life and everything like that. And him and Andrea were supposed to get married, and I wasn't going to be in the picture anymore. And I can't be without my girls.
Did he say he was going to take the girls to wherever with Andrea?
No, they weren't moving anywhere. But it was just, I wasn't going to really have my time with them like I do now. So I know I seem very easy to push over, but it's not. It's just,
Well, it's a cycle. Obviously, he's been using your kids against you and getting in his way for stuff, and you know.
On one of the things I want to say was like the 4th of July, Nene put something in the microwave and it like kind of started sparking like a metal thing, and he started screaming, fire, 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 fire. So I'm trying to get the girls out, and he's yelling at them to sit down, and he's cussing out his mom, cussing at me. And I'm just trying to get the kids out of the house thinking there's a fire, and he immediately, pack their bags, bring them back, we're not doing this. So,
Was that here or
in Henderson, and ask Yoko, she'll tell you. That's how he is.
So, I mean, when I tell you that, I told you earlier that, I think that you're not telling us everything, that there's something that you know that you're leaving out, and then you go into this big explanation about, this is what's happening, this is what's going on, I love my girls, he uses that against me, and you kind of go into that brief explanation. So, you never really got into that other part to it. Okay, so you just can't get an explanation, which I understand completely now. Like, you're painting a different picture about what's been going on. Like, all this stuff you tell us now is not anywhere near what you were explaining to us earlier. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not trying to speak ill of anyone, and I'm not trying to make myself sound...
It's not speaking ill, it's just trying to explain the situation and where you're at with him and your explanation. I mean, now it's a little bit more clear that he obviously uses your kids against you. You love your kids. We all love our kids. And I agree with you as far as like I would do anything for my child, right? And you said.
So it's not that I'm trying to bring him in because I'm in love with him or anything like that.
No, you're trying to make, but here's where what I'm saying is, I don't think him coming here isn't something that you really agreed to. It was something that he kind of forced it upon you.
He made it clear that it would be better for the girls, just like the puppies. We need to bring the puppies. The girls love the puppies. And
right? So that to me, when we're looking at everything here, would say, hey, well, he needs to get out of the picture, right? So that's why I'm asking. I don't think you did anything to him yourself, okay? But I do believe that you know what happened to him.
Detective, during the course of interviews, when you're speaking with a potential suspect or person of interest, or however you want to say it, are there times in which you will change the tone and kind of minimize someone's involvement?
Absolutely.
So just so everyone understands, when you or Ozawa are saying, I don't believe you did it, that's part of your interviewing technique, correct?
Correct.
You're not saying that's what you actually do.
No, it's a way of keeping the dialogue going, of showing some sort of like sympathizing, comments. If you're giving that to them, they're feeling that they're heard and they're believed, and they will continue to speak with us.
Okay. And so who did something? So that's where, hold on. So this is the time right now that would be a good time for you to kind of explain what you know about what happened. Because as we go on further, and when we leave here, and you say, I have no idea, there's no clue, I don't know anything about what happened, and then we find out later, that obviously looks worse on you, correct?
I understand.
Okay, so like I was saying before, now is the time that it would be coming upon you to say, hey, okay, this is what I know. Okay, like I said, I don't believe you actually did anything to him, but I do believe that you know what happened to him. Okay?
John was like this with everybody, so I don't know. if he got into anything with anyone else, but for me, this is how he was. For Yoko, this is how he was. I'm pretty sure he was like that with Andrea. I don't know if he could be with any other person where he's like doing this. You would have to look at his phone. But you can look on my messages. It was always a back and forth like this almost every single day. I would get a message and it would be a very aggressive, I hate this, you're not doing this. And by the time the date was halfway through, it would be I'm sorry and everything like that. This was almost daily.
Like I said, I get that. Like I understand what you're explaining as far as how he is. Okay.
What's the combo you're saying? If I'm gonna have to say that.
1978.
Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
So, but like I said, I understand how you're explaining him and how he is. Okay. But like I said, I still feel like you know more than what you're telling us.
So just to wrap up a little bit, obviously we grabbed the phone that was on the driveway. We'll process that. Thank you for the iPad, that's what iPad.
The girls found that. They said that's what, so I didn't know anything about that.
Okay, we got that. Is there any reason why John's blood or anything DNA related will be in your vehicle? Because that got towed back to our station, our CSA, they're gonna thoroughly look for everything in that vehicle.
I couldn't tell you. If he was bleeding from when he was doing the thing, he helped load up the truck, so if he was bleeding, it might be
Or your Armada.
my Armada.
Okay.
Like, he was putting the things in the car, like anything that
Sure,
he
but
had
there's
to.
gonna be obvious areas where blood doesn't belong even if you're loading. So I'm just asking you directly, because if we do find any DNA evidence in that vehicle, obviously we wanna make sure we asked you if there would be a reason.
No, the only thing I knew he said was his hand that he hit on the table. That's the only time he ever said he was bleeding, and he said it got a pretty good gash.
Okay, but you didn't see that.
No, I did not, so I can't really speak on it. But he was still loading everything up, so I don't think it was really bothering him that much.
And then just to confirm, you don't know how his phone got there on the driveway.
No, I know he was smoking, and when I went back over there and I said, girls, where did you find this? They pointed to it, there is cigarette butts there. So I don't know if he was just smoking and put it down and just didn't pick it back up, but you can take those and I'm sure it'll be his.
When you guys unloaded everything, how long did that take?
30 minutes, he was bragging. He was saying that, yeah, I can always do this as quick as can be, but he tries to stretch things out because he charges by the hour. I remember having that conversation.
And when you guys left Paladura to come back here, or when you left that night, or this morning, which way did you go? Like as far as like when you left Paladura, like at
I headed up towards the Durango area to get the medication.
when you left that neighborhood, did you go straight out to Pecos, Barnwino? Or did you go to Pecos?
No, no.
You went out the one exit to get out the window right there, right by the school?
Yeah.
And then normally do you guys come this way when you're coming to your house?
It just depends, like if the 15 is kind of backed up, I will take like the 215 and go around, or the Decatur, it really just depends on the time of day when we go in different directions.
Okay. 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 Alright, well, we appreciate it. Hopefully, that you're telling us everything is the truth. So, I will give you a call, or, like I said, we'll have your phone. We're gonna get that downloaded, the circle with that too.
Okay.
And then I'll call Deviere tomorrow.
Deviere.
Just call it
Dev. I'll call Dev tomorrow, and then try to figure out the time. But he has to work till tomorrow. Right?
Yeah. Sorry, that's right.
I know, sorry. A good phone number to reach you for returning your phone?
No, you have my phone.
Yeah, so you said you have a landline, is that something?
I do not know it. It's,
Should we call Dev's phone then?
yeah.
I don't know the phone's already in the
Well, you just told me to pick it up around 11.
Well,
Oh, no, you just have the address, so I don't even have the address anymore.
Oh yeah, no, you're right.
Because you wrote it on the paper and then handed it back to you.
Let me give that to you, and then if you want to, just come by tomorrow. Pick it up. You have that card, right?
Yes, sir.
The address is on the card. 223 West Street. That's where you need to go.
No, the card is in my car.
And then I'll get that back to you. So maybe I'd say 1 o'clock tomorrow. Come by the station 1 o'clock tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
Where's the shop?
Hopefully everything will be done.
Okay.
So if you can figure out how to get right down there, I can try to get everything done for you.
Okay.
Okay. And if it's not, at least I hope I can just get you the phone back.
Okay.
I don't know what people.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. Like I said,
And then
if there is, I don't think there's
like a lot of that, because I don't think he was bleeding a lot, because I didn't see it, but I do know he did mention it.
so it is 9:25. That's the end of the interview.
And Detective, it sounded toward the very end there like the plan was to release Miss Michaels and go about your investigation.
Correct.
And fair to say that there was a pretty substantial amount of digital and forensic investigation that occurred after that interview we
Yes,
just heard.
absolutely.
Thank you. I'll pass the witness.
Okay, before we get across the woods, we're gonna take a brief recess. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna take a brief recess. During this recess, you must not discuss or communicate with anyone, including family members, in any way regarding this case or its merit, either by voice, phone, email, text, internet, or other means of communication or social media. You must not read, watch, listen to news or media accounts or commentary about this case. You must not do any research, such as consulting dictionary, using the internet, or using reference material. You must not make any investigation, test, the theory of the case, recreate any aspect of the case, or in any other way investigate or look on the case on your own, and you must not form or express any opinion regarding this case until it's finally submitted to you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 10:10, we'll be in recess till 10:25. All rise for the jury. Please be seated. I know the jury's all present and accounted for. All right, we are going to go back on the record and see 377239, state of Alibi, Devyn Michaels. For the record, clerk, Ms. Michaels is present with her attorneys. Deputy District on behalf of the state, the both parties stipulate the presence of our jury.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Trustman, whenever you're ready to cross examination.
Thank you. Detective Skinner, if we could start with a timeline of 8/7,
Okay.
specifically in reference to Devyn.
Yes.
It's your understanding that she was initially interviewed at 12:11, just after noon on 8/7, correct?
Would that be that first interview with Ozawa and Pappas?
Correct.
I'm not familiar with the timeline. That sounds about right.
And then at 14:29 hours on 8/7, you and Detective Ozawa go to the Porcupine Rim residence.
Yes, sir.
And when you arrive, you see Devyn getting things out of the Nissan, correct?
Yes,
The Nissan was parked, the Yamato was parked in the driveway, correct?
it was.
While you and Detective Ozawa are walking up in the driveway, it's your testimony that this phone at issue is next to the driveway, correct?
Yes,
Next to the Armada.
fairly close.
And then at 15:08 hours, Devyn is interviewed at the Porcupine Rim residence by both yourself and Detective Ozawa in the vehicle, correct?
Yes,
And then it's at 15:20, while Devyn is being interviewed, the girls bring up the phone, correct?
yes,
So the phone has been out there, at least based upon your seeing it, from at least 14:29 hours, correct?
yes, it is.
And it's nearly an hour or so later than the girls bring up the phone. Fair to say?
Yes,
There's discussions concerning this phone daddy's phone, something along those lines, correct?
Yes.
And the phone is looked into, correct? It's handled.
It was handled, yes.
At this point in time, the airplane mode is not switched on, correct?
Correct.
So if there's notifications on the phone, presumably those notifications now by operation of looking at the phone, getting into the phone, those are no longer there, correct?
Fair to say.
Devyn confirms that it's Jonathan's phone.
She does.
And in fact says, here, this should help you, correct?
Yes.
And then at 1919, a search warrant for Porcupine Rim and the vehicles is signed, correct?
Yes.
Was there a previous affidavit that had been submitted for the search of the Porcupine residence, or was that the first?
I am not certain on that.
Detective Ozawa would
Yes, sir.
probably be better suited.
Yes.
But we do know that at 7/19 or 1919, the search warrant for the Porcupine Rim vehicles was signed, correct?
Yes.
And then this interview, this last one that we were listening today, began at 1955.
Yes.
And obviously reference then is made to this phone again, correct? The phone that's found.
That's correct.
Through the course of this interview that we heard last week and this week, there's reference made to Johnathan losing his license, correct? Previously.
His wallet, I believe.
Okay. And in fact, you've learned through the course of the investigation there were texts that confirmed that.
Yes.
So there have been texts between Devyn and Johnathan wherein, hey, Jonathan's lost his license. It's found, and there's a discussion in reference to that, correct?
Again, specifically, she mentioned wallet.
Okay. But they were actually both lost at one point in time, were they not? At one time the wallet and another time the license, and they communicate concerning the losing of the wallet and the license and the finding of both in their text
You could make the
messages?
assumption that the license is in the wallet. However, I'm only privy to what she disclosed to us, which was his wallet specifically, and that he had sent a picture to prove that he found it.
But then I told there are pictures to prove, in fact, and corroborates what she had said, that prior to your interview on this date, he lost his wallet and or license and found them, and they texted about it, correct?
Correct.
There had been, through the course of your interview, a reference made to Andrea, Jonathan's previous girlfriend, and the pulling of a knife, something along those lines, correct?
Yes.
There was, in fact, an incident somewhere where that had been discussed previously.
I'm sorry, repeat
There
that.
had been an incident where, I mean, there had been some discussion among the family about Andrea pulling a knife or something along those lines.
That's my understanding, yes.
In reference to an injury that Devyn says that John had told her about, she said that she never saw a bleeding injury, correct?
That's correct.
She had said that Johnathan had told her that he had hurt himself moving, correct?
Correct.
She had made reference to a white table that he was moving, correct?
Yes.
And in fact, that white table that she had discussed with you was in the garage.
It was.
Again, it confirms the movement of this table. It had the big folding sides, correct?
Yes.
It was found in the garage. And she made it a point to say she didn't see any blood. He had just said that he'd injured himself moving that, correct?
Yes.
And you'd fair to say, I mean, based upon common experience and knowledge, people can hurt themselves, whether it be a cut, a pinch, something like that, in moving heavy furniture.
Yes, absolutely.
There was a discussion concerning some medical conditions that Devyn had, correct?
Yes.
She had talked about this inability to engage in actual intercourse, and you followed up in questions.
I did.
To that, correct?
Yes.
She had said, you can look at my medical records that have these medical conditions, correct?
Yes.
And are you aware that in fact had medical conditions concerning sex and things that addressed such?
No.
Did you take any follow-up steps to substantiate that she, in fact, had seen a doctor for a variety of different reasons?
At the time, it wasn't relevant. Her medical history and the fact of whether she could be intimate with her partner, it was more of things that were being discussed during an interview to clear up the confusion over the relationships. Since that point, we were very unclear on her relationship with individuals in her life. So at that point, her diagnosis, if she had intimacy issues, it just wasn't something that was relevant to the investigation.
At that point in time?
Correct.
And obviously, these investigations they're not necessarily static, they're ongoing, correct?
Yes, very much so.
They're dynamic.
Yes.
Deviere had been interviewed on 8/7, correct?
Yes.
And again, fair to say that both you and Detective Ozawa were kind of having a difficulty understanding this relationship dynamic between the parties.
Absolutely.
Fair to say that Devyn's statements weren't necessarily helpful at times.
You could say that, yes.
Fair to say that Deviere's explanations of things were not necessarily helpful at times.
Correct.
Through the course of your interview with Devyn, you talk about rings and that rings are significant.
Yes.
They're a sign of a commitment.
Yes.
She had testified that she wasn't, or she had told you that she wasn't particularly sure what was in the bag, correct?
Yes.
Things were being moved, things were kind of hectic, correct?
That is correct.
Fair to say it's kind of ambiguous concerning when these contents were put in the bag, correct?
Ambiguous is when they were placed in the bag?
Yes.
No, she indicated that that occurred at a specific time or instance at the home before they turned around and went right back to Porcupine.
But we know for a fact that they actually were at the home and they actually went to the other home, to the Paladera.
Yes.
Again, a lot going on, correct?
Yes.
Devyn had been subjected to multiple interviews on 8/7.
Yes.
There was discussions concerning keys, both the key or keys to the subject truck as well as Andrea's keys, correct?
Yes.
And she had told you that she had handled or was aware of the keys in both instances, correct?
Yes, she indicated one had Andrea's name on it and the other one was a set of truck keys that were next to some smoking paraphernalia.
You were able to corroborate that Johnathan was a smoker
Correct.
of both tobacco as well as marijuana.
Yes, I believe the lab confirmed that as well.
Yes. When you were at the Paladera residence, obviously there was evidence of smoking both inside and outside the house, correct?
Yes.
As well as alcohol bottles, things of that nature.
Yes.
You had testified that the interview techniques initially concerning Devyn, I think you said were more like free form?
Correct.
That nature?
Yes.
But then they became, through the course of the day, more accusatory.
Yes.
You testified that you engaged in another form of interview technique, correct?
Correct.
A more confrontational technique.
Yes.
And that was employed by both you as well as Detective Ozawa.
Yes.
The read technique is generally used by your police department.
I wouldn't say that it's used by our department. A lot of people are trained in the read technique. However, most of us that have been detectives for, several years, we develop our own technique. We'll take a little bit of something that we've learned in a class that works for us, and then there's other times that we'll be taking online courses, or through just our course of our experience, we'll adapt our techniques to our own strengths.
So, however, it's fair to say that you have been trained and implement the read technique.
I have been trained in read, but I don't believe that I'm still implementing that.
Same question, if, to your knowledge, Detective Ozawa, the read technique is generally the beginning, the basis of interview techniques.
I would say it's a basis generally, but I don't know that Detective Ozawa has taken that course.
early on, and this is now before your interview with Devyn, you were engaged in an interview with Yoko at the Paladura residence, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
That interview began at 10:43 a.m.
Yes.
and concluded at 11:28 a.m., correct?
Yes.
45 minutes.
Very fast.
45 minutes.
Yeah.
You were there to try and gain information to help you in your investigation, correct?
Yes.
She cooperated.
She did.
You didn't have the use of an interpreter, but it was clear that you both understood each other.
Yes.
At times were discussed concerning that night in question.
Yes.
On 3 different occasions, it was discussed a noise that disturbed her at 3 a.m., correct?
I don't recall a noise being discussed.
Dogs barking.
Okay, dogs barking, yes.
On 3 different instances during that interview, there's a discussion of dogs at 3 a.m., correct?
Okay. I would have no reason not to believe you.
And if I showed you the interview transcript, you'd have no reason to disagree.
I would not disagree if I could read them.
So 3 times dogs at 3 a.m., correct?
Sure, yes.
Okay, I'm not tricking you.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
telling you. At no time was there any discussion of a bang or anything like that at 2 a.m., correct?
Not that I recall.
Because that's something that you would have taken note of, because it would have been...
It would have been significant.
If I can have the court's indulgence just one moment. Follow-up question concerning the phone. We had discussed the phone being gotten into and not, put on airplane mode, which would have wiped the notifications, correct?
Correct.
Yoko had discussed calling Johnathan multiple times that morning, correct?
Yes.
Outside of it failing to have been put on airplane mode, was the phone ever taken off the network that you're aware of?
That's not something I would be aware of personally.
Okay. Thank you. I have no further questions.
Thank you.
Yes, very briefly. Detective, with regard to the line of questioning related to the notifications on the phone, you would, I presume, defer to experts on airplane mode and that type of thing, correct?
That's correct.
The fact that there were no notifications on the home screen when you first saw the phone, was that important for you for any purpose?
Absolutely. There were statements made by Devyn that she had contacted or tried to contact Johnathan several times. So in my personal experience, I would believe that there would be notifications unless that phone had been interacted with prior to picking it up and bringing it over to the car.
Okay, and there will be an expert that talks about the contents of the phone. That's not for you.
Not my
to talk
forte.
about. Let's presume for a second that she did in fact text or call John after his death. Would this be something that you've seen before in cases where people try to alibi themselves or cover up?
Yes, frequently people will call someone they clearly know is deceased. They will go to their work and pretend and put on an act per se.
Okay.
So there are times that does happen.
So, not for you to say, but
No.
It's not surprising to see someone call someone post-murder to essentially alibi and or cover up.
Correct.
I'll pass it.
Some follow-up. You've had investigations where someone leaves a cell phone at a home and then goes and commits a serious crime, correct?
Yes.
Again, to perhaps establish an alibi concerning their whereabouts.
Yes.
In reference to the phone, Jonathan's phone, there was communication, specifically a text sent by Devyn to Johnathan about 3:56 a.m., correct?
I'd have to defer to the records, but I have no reason to believe that didn't happen.
And that concerned the girls in registration that was to occur the morning of the 7th, correct?
Yes.
Additionally, we had heard testimony last week concerning a landline at the Paladura residence. There was, in fact, a landline.
Yes, there was.
And on the night in question, late 8/6 into 8/7, there were multiple phone calls from the landline at Porcupine to Devyn's phone, correct?
It's my understanding that there were, yes.
Previous night, that would be the night of August 5th, there were multiple phone calls from the Porcupine residence That's where Deviere and the girls to Devyn's phone, correct?
I believe so. Again, I'd have to defer to the records to be certain.
Fair. Thank you. No further
Thank
questions.
you.
Any follow-up?
No, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the jury, have any questions for this witness? Sir, if you'd like your question on a full sheet of paper with your name and your jury number, and counsel can approach. Did you check the white table in the garage for blood, the tape right there?
I personally did not check the table, however, our CSAs or crime scene analysts as well as the detectives did, and they photographed the garage as a whole.
Okay, what did they find?
There was no blood on the table.
Okay? State any follow based on the jury.
No, thank you.
Defense?
Just very briefly, and it involves actually the phone. The girls were handling the phone prior to being given to you,
I
correct?
did not see the girls. I would assume that they had handled it. They had to pick it up and bring it over to us. Now, whether they manipulated it, I couldn't tell you.
Swiped up, anything like that, you
Could
can't
not
say.
tell you. They appear to have just walked over from where the phone was and up to their mom's side of the car.
But just so we're clear, though, that phone was out in the driveway for some time, correct?
It was, yes.
In fact, through the course of Deviere's interview, he had made reference to that phone, correct?
I wasn't in that interview, so I couldn't speak to that.
Thank you. No further questions.
Any follow-up on that, Steve?
No, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the jury, have any further questions for this witness? Okay, seeing no response, name and excuse, thank you very much for your testimony here today.